So I have a short out. We're talking about my 5 subscribers. I'm excited. Please like and share. Tell people about me. Yeah, this channel is called Sucker Free TV. Reason for it being called Sucker Free TV because when my dad was alive, if you got tricked, bamboozled, hoodwinked, he called you a sucker. So we definitely don't want nobody to be tricked, bamboozled, hoodwinked by the devil and his minions. That's right. I am going to talk about prayer, which is scriptural, and yeah, about how some of my prayers have been answered. And yeah, and that's just the bottom line. So first and foremost, I would like people to take their time. When I say in the Bible, I want you to go look this up. That's why I haven't posted Bible verses, because you have to study so you're self-approved. And if you don't see what I'm talking about in the Bible, correct me so I won't be out here misinforming people, because there are people being misinformed. I don't know everything, but guess what? I'm willing to go learn myself, and I'm willing to spread what I know. So first things first, there is a Bible verse where Jesus is teaching people how to pray. It's in I think Matthew, Luke, and Mark. And he says, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive me my trespasses as I forgive those who trespass against me. Forgive my trespasses as I forgive those, who trespass against me. Lead me not into temptation, but deliver me from evil. From thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. And then you go into your petition. You're asking God for something, or you're telling him thank you. Thank you for protecting me from evil. And like I said, most time when we're praying, we're asking God, just because God is our Father. And most time when you talk to your parents, you're either asking for wisdom, you're telling them thank you. Yeah, just from there. When I be talking to people about prayer, because I have actually slipped, I need to get better. When I ask people that, when I tell people you need to spend time with God, and they go, how much? And I'm like, well, just think about this. If every time you heard from somebody and they was asking you for money, how would you feel? Like, seriously, if every time somebody called you and it's always because they need something, they need some money, typically money. That's kind of how we approach God. Like, oh my God, these bills are due, and I need. Also, tell God thank you for air, your house, protecting your house, your car, your clothing, your right mind, that you woke up this morning. You know, say thank you with gratitude, even if your situation is just not the best. You need to still be thankful. It could be worse, because there's always somebody going through something that is worse. So you always have to say thank you, God. Two, on top of this, I kind of fast forwarded, but I'm going to pause and go back to what my original thought was. I typically watch a young man named Tony Talks. He's hilarious to me. He's hilarious. And when I got ready to play him, let me tell you, my phone always do something. When God wants to get my attention, first thing he do is slow down my work schedule. Either slow down my work schedule, or I'm tired and I need to get a break. God does speak through me in dreams. So I would start sleeping a lot, and a lot of dreams would start flooding in. So this guy, Tony Talks, he's cracking a joke. And on one of the videos, either the press or saying something. And the response was like, I can't remember the response in the video, but the video stopped playing and TD Jakes started playing in the background. And I end up watching three sermons by TD Jakes. One was Storm Drains, the other was Sturdy the Storm, and the other one was called Ghosting. Okay, you have to watch them in this order, because that's how it came. That's how I watched a Storm Drain first, and basically it's talking about Jesus And this guy that had a legion of demons, and the demons didn't want to go out into the abyss. They wanted to stay in this area. And the demon name was Legion, because that means there's a bunch of them. And Jesus chased them into the pigs. And then, of course, the pigs went into the water. So it's called Storm Drain. And like I said, as I listened to it about 3 or 4 times. Because it was meant for me to hear it. And then Stir the Storm is right after. It's like the stories are back to back. This is about Jesus being in the boat, I believe, with Peter. And he would sleep during the storm. Peter woke him up. Jesus rebuked the storm. The storm got quiet. Now, for me, I am going through a short storm. Because typically for construction this time of year, it gets rough. Typically construction, real estate, and things of that nature get really rough around the holiday season. So, yeah, it's definitely tight here. So I'm like, oh my God, this is a storm. And, it's when you're following God, you got to have faith. Even when things don't look right, you got to have faith. So that's why you got to pray and spend time with God. So when I started the video with how to pray, that was one way how to pray. It's a bunch of ways on how to pray. Okay, so long story short, that's how God communicated with me this week, was with my phone when I tried to listen to a guy named Tony Talks. It's about a video. He hated doing something. And then how he started it, and then T.D. Jakes came on, like in the middle of his video. His video paused, and then the voice of T.D. Jakes started playing. And I'm like, oop, that's for me. So back to prayer. So that was one way of praying. I'm going to tell you another way I learned how to pray before I read that Bible verse. I went to jail. And I did not have any bond. This was in my early 20s. And I, not going to front, I was a hot girl in my younger day. So went to jail, didn't have a bond. And there was an old lady in there. And she goes, I don't think you belong in here. Come into my cell. I went into her cell. She showed me her letters that she written to God. She said, all these prayers have been answered. And she said, it's in the Bible. She went to Habakkuk 2. In Habakkuk chapter 2, I believe it's some kind of war going on. Like I said, I haven't read the whole thing. But there was some type of war going on, and this guy's asking God, how long do we have to wait? Kind of like how long, God, do we have to wait for you to do what do what are you doing? Kind of, sort of. And God responded to him, write the vision, make it plain upon tablets or tables. So whosoever readeth shall run. Yeah, whoever readeth shall run. It shall not tarry, but it shall come for an appointed time. It will not lie. It's something in that skewer words there. Please read it for yourself, because I did and it worked. So I didn't have a bond. And I went and wrote a letter. Just like the Bible verse, I went and wrote the letter. And ended up getting a bond. Well, my cellmate knew a lawyer. Passed a lawyer number off to my mom and them. My mom is deceased, by the way. And I ended up, people helped me with an attorney, the down payment, and I had my own bond. Because I didn't have enough for a bond and an attorney at the same time. It was one or the other. So I got a bond. Okay. They was kind of, I had several charges that did not have a bond. So it took a minute for all those to get a bond for me to bond out together. While I was in there, I was kind of just testing the waters, right? I wanted some chicken. I wrote one of those letters the night asking for chicken. Can you believe? Because I got moved to another pod. This is in Rice Street. A long time ago. The Bible study teacher walked through our area with church's chicken. I was just seeing if it worked when you write your prayers. Oh, it worked. And everybody looked at me because I was doing it just to see what was going to happen. Because, I grew up in church. I knew God, but I didn't it's kind of weird. But you're like, maybe. So when she came through with the chicken, everybody looked at me like. So there was another young lady in there that had been in there a year without a court date. She wrote one of those letters and ended up going to court the next day and getting out. So, you know, it proved itself. So that is another form of prayer. And also another one that a lot of people misskip in the Bible is when Jesus cursed his fig tree. And I know that's in the vicinity of when Jesus teaching folk how to pray. All right. So this how I'm gonna tell it. Jesus was walking with his 12 homeboys, the disciples, and I think he got ahead of them. He was hungry, saw a fig tree that hadn't grew any figs, cursed the fig tree, told it would never grow, and kept walking. By the time his 12 homeboys caught up to him, he was like, "Whoa, how you do that?" And then Jesus said, "If you say unto this mountain, throw yourself in the sea, and believe when ye pray that you receive it, ye shall have it." And then at the end, it talks about forgive your brother so God in heaven can forgive you. And of course, for those who watched my previous video, God took me to hell for unforgiveness. So that it's true. So 1 year, of course, and I've been a felon. So 1 year, I had been on probation, I think 4 or 5 years. And I kept saying to myself, I'm going to get off probation. I don't know how I'm going to get out. I'm going to get off probation. I said that all year. December of that year, I think it was 2017 or 2018. It might have been 2017. I called because I was trying to get a letter so I can apply for a state license. I called and I was doing when you dial the one for Georgia where you can dial in and report. I didn't have to go physically see anybody. That lady said, "What probation?" And I'm like, I said, I gave her my information again. I said, "Ma'am, I'm calling to meet my probation officer so I can get a letter." And the lady said, "What probation? You're off. We took you off December, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, wait. You know, in my mind, like, wait, huh? I went there. I was real deal taking off probation. I did not call down and say take me off. I got taken off. So I've showed you the 3 kinds of prayer. We go do the Lord's Prayer, and then you start your petition. The right to prayer. I'm trying to tell y'all, it's what you about to see with this will change your life, because you can go back, especially with the prayers that you've written down. You can go back and see that God answered those prayers. Like, you know, it's hard to keep up with them when you're just saying them and you're not keeping any track of them. But when you write them down and you go back years later and see that this got answered, that got answered, that got answered, it's like, whew. So, yes. And also, while praying, you do understand, and I'm going to take you to the other side. You do have people that pray against you. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. With that being said, it works as a double-edged sword. Pray against people that are talking bad about you, because sometimes you can tell somebody your dream and your goal, and they will go pray against you, and it can be blocked, you know. Also, you also need to understand that undeserved curse doesn't land. So you will have people that will put a hex or a curse on you. And depending on how you living, it can land or not land. You also need to learn how to pray for protection of your kids, protection of your house, protection of your finances. I ask God to work in my dreams through prayer. Hey God, I want my dreaming gift to increase. And it has. I want my seeing gifts to increase. I want my hearing gifts to increase. I want to be led more by God than the world. Because if you were being led by God, that means you will go be with your Father. If you're led by the world, you're going to be with your Father. Because you can either, let's be honest with you, you either Yahweh God could be your father or Satan could be your father. You only got two options. So yes, I want to be led by God, but prayer. So many. I got so many. I will say with the Lord's prayer, there's a part in it that says, "Deliver me from evil." So I will tell you, I did live the alternative lifestyle at one point, and I said this prayer, and the relationship came to an end for like 7 days, and it hurt. I mean, oh, it hurt. It hurt, and I'm like, God, why is this happening? He said, you did ask to be delivered from evil. I'm like, yeah. He said, well, delivered. And I'm like, oh. Now if you out here and you ain't doing right and you ask to be delivered from evil, just know God gonna answer with delivered. However it happens, delivered. That I'm going to tell you that I got kicked out. Like, I can't even explain it. It was a relationship just took an emergency handbrake and then left. So I will tell you, for my own good, that prayer has worked. And also, we also bind the things on earth as in heaven. Okay? And you go back and read. You can bind whatever you loose in heaven, you can loose on earth. Whatever you bind in heaven, you bind on earth. So when you learn this, right, Jesus rebuked the storm, because you have the powers to do that through Jesus. When people get talking about the Bible and what it is and what it ain't, listen, it's a spiritual book. It lets you know your powers through Jesus and prayer and supplication. And that's just the bottom line. So I made it through a whole lot of things in these past 365 days through prayer. I was a whole prayer warrior. I had an altar in my truck because I was on the road. Woke up in the morning praying. Went to sleep praying. And I prayed myself out of some things. And I want to tell people like, oh, first of all, prayer works. Second, faith without works is dead. You got to give God something to work with. So for those out there ain't got no job, like, I pray to God for a job. But if you're not looking for a job, he can't give you one. I pray to God for money. But if you don't have that open lane for God to open that road, you got to do your job too. You got to listen to God too. Because when you pray, sometimes you need to be quiet after you pray. Not sometimes, all the time. Because a lot of y'all like to talk and don't listen. Because when you asking God for answers, you got to be quiet so you can get the answer. You see? Because there's some mornings where I would lay on my floor and I will read a Bible verse and sigh. Like overwhelmed. When you're an entrepreneur, you can be overwhelmed. And I'm an entrepreneur and a single mother. So sometimes it becomes overwhelming. So a couple weeks ago, I read Deuteronomy 28. But I didn't read the part about being blessed. I read the part about being disobedient. Because a lot of people want to read the part about being blessed. Blessed when you come in, blessed when you come out, but then don't want to be obedient. That second part to that is for those that are disobedient, and a lot of us are. It talks about the curses that come in, and the curses it goes in. So I read that part, and I asked, I want to be more obedient, because I know what happens when you're disobedient, because I've been there. And I laid down, I went to sleep, and I had a dream about 3 different people. Like I say, God talks to me through dreams. And my gift is so strong. I can call somebody and be like, hey, do you know somebody named this, or their name start with this? And they be like, huh? It's nobody but God. And sometimes God give me gifts, messages to tell some people around me. A lot of people that's around me listen. Because I ain't calling you for no reason. because I'm a loner. So if I call you like, hey, listen, I had a dream about you, a lot of people like, tell me. So God gives us all these gifts, the gifts of discernment, dreaming, seeing, hearing. All you gotta do is ask God. Seek God, you will find. Prayer has definitely changed my life. I promise you. Spend time with God. A lot of people, how much time, baby? When God control all of this. Don't ask how much time, because He the one gave you the time. You got to keep in mind, God the one created the time for you. I prefer to spend time with God than working a hectic business. Because if I can spend time with God and he still covers my bills, I'm fine. But and He still does. Even when I don't spend that much time, He still covers my bills. He still looks out for me. So, people out here, get in tune with God. And another thing, a lot of y'all come out with, oh, he got so many rules and regulations. Well, baby, when you want to go, don't you got rules and regulations at your house? I'm gonna say it again. Some people don't want you wearing shoes in their house. You don't want nobody to poop on your carpet. That's why God knows why He don't want us to do certain things. So again, for those that's watching this, pray for God to guide you. This video is not to convert or convince. It's just the stories of my life. I prayed myself out felony probation and out of court and a lot of stuff. For those who out here in these streets, I done prayed myself out of some charges before, and trust me, they've been dropped. Copy. I show you where it's at in the Bible, and don't keep going. Don't keep testing God now. I show you. I show you. If you out in them streets and you want to get out in them streets, but to get into the Bible, trust me, God gonna save you. Just be ready for how. Just be ready, because you don't know how it's gonna happen. Like I said, I asked God to deliver me from evil, and it hurt last year. And He told me, "You said deliver you, right?" I did, and He took me to hell. Delivered. When I say delivered, oh baby, that's all I needed, and I'm happy. And when I say I'm happy, I'm happy. I'm at peace. Y'all start praying. Get your prayer schedule going. Get your prayer schedule. Mine is preferably in the morning. Lately I've been tired, but I done slept now. I think I can get up at my 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning like I used to. First fruits is not always about money. A lot of time it's the time you wake up. That's your first fruits. So y'all, let's get into it. Let's pray. Let's save each other's souls out here. Let's get to it, man. Love y'all. Like, share, subscribe, because I'm happy for my 5 subscribers, but I want millions of them. Thank you.